Hello, welcome to this Calm Club session on lower back and belly soothing. So arriving here, hands on belly, knees bent. Take your arms up over the head and just lay them over the top of the head, elbows together. You can feel that cradling as you just feel into your lower back, anything that helps you to arrive to ground. Little arching into the back there as you settle your breath, soften your jaw. And take your arms comfortably out to the side, elbows bent, wrists soft. And starting to move one knee further away, one knee further towards your head. So it's not a twist to the side with the knees, but rather moving the pelvis so that one hip is moving up, one hip is moving down. And we're just starting to explore the tissues deep into the pelvis and the abdomen. Letting the head turn with the movement in any way that simply happens. So feet staying nicely planted, feeling grounded through the feet to allow safety and soothing into the lower back. And letting yourself fully breathe so that anything that is being released up from those tissues feels it has passage to leave, to move through. And coming to still. Lengthen out the leg closest towards me. And then keeping the other foot on the ground, starting to move that knee over the body and away from the body. So the outstretched leg can simply move with it. The pelvis can move with the motion. Again, the head may just move where it's taken. So we're not trying to pin any area of the body, hold it in place and do something specific through a joint, but rather just letting the whole of your body feel it can move as one as you explore out. Motion through the lower back. And really feeling that foot on the ground is planted as you then lift up the same arm and place that hand underneath the shoulder, palm down, fingers towards the hips. As you roll towards me, roll over the outside edge of the outstretched leg. And feel you're opening up the whole of that side, arching into the back. And releasing out the arms to gently have a little motion in the middle as you need. Before then settling back into the center to lengthen out the leg furthest away from me. And foot on the ground of the bent leg, again starting to move inwards and out. You can see a little bit more easily on this side here how I'm keeping that foot nicely planted but letting it roll to the inside and then the outside of the foot. So the foot can be active, supporting the movements. And as the knee moves away from the leg, opening into inside of the hip, and as the knee moves over the body, arching into the back. And taking same hand as the bent leg underneath the shoulder, so you can see that a little more easily on this side, fingers pointing towards the hip. If that doesn't work for your shoulder, you can always just keep the arm out to the side or even put the heel of the hand onto a block. There's a sense of a rolling over, feeling into the front body, holding that at any time that feels comfortable. And coming back to center. Taking a few breaths there, up and down the spine. And starting to let one knee roll completely out to the side. You can exhale back to center and inhale the leg over to the other side, so that you are moving that side to side, alternating legs. Inhale opens you out. And you're starting again, similar motion you did before, but with both feet on the ground. Here's a little more purchase to lift up into the lower back as you reach the opposite arm to the knee that's coming out to the side. Reach that out on the diagonal, out through the fingertips. Foot that stays on the ground, staying nicely planted. Knee up to the ceiling so that hip lifts. And you can start to look in the direction of the fingers you're reaching to. There's a whole body movement reaching through the diagonals. So it feels like the fingertips are reaching from the knee that comes out to the ground. And then holding that there to pulse, that is to press foot on the ground, little to lift up into the hip without gripping into the buttocks, and release. Just to pulse into those tissues to the inside of the hip bones. And then sliding the bottom foot just behind the ankle of the foot on the ground. So you're lengthening a little bit more into the front body of the leg closest to the ground. Soften the jaw. That might feel you're meeting something interesting in there. And then you can release the top shoulder off the ground to roll that top arm inwards towards the ear. Releasing back to center, feet back to hip width apart. A little movement in the lower back to soothe there. And then letting the other leg come out to the side. Starting those pulsing motions again there. Feeling into tissues to the inside of the hip without overly involving the buttock. So not gripping there or the jaw. Soft exploration. And then placing that bottom foot behind the ankle of the foot planted on the ground. Lifting up into the area between the shoulder blades so that any length created up through the front body, not compressing into the lower back, and you lift up space into the upper back to then reach through, lifting the shoulder, same side of the foot on the ground, planted on the ground, rolling that arm in towards the ear, and lengthening through the whole side of that body. Before easing yourself back to center, gently drawing both legs in towards the chest and knees together, arms still out to the side so you're nice and rooted into the shoulders. Easing to breathe into the lower back here. And then just moving your knees little side to side, so not trying to bring them down into a twist, but rather feeling rooted, planted into both the shoulders as you explore the tissues around the middle, around the diaphragm and across the lower back, containing that movement. And feeling out slight variance in the motions. We're not just going side to side. So when you open your arms, coming down into Shavasana, having a little movement side to side of the feet to loosen all of the leg bones right up into the pelvis. And moving the toes in and out. So when you finally come to settle, hands onto the belly, really tuned into that belly and lower back area to bring sense of grounding and reassurance here, so that we can feel the inherent motion of the breath within this area, soothing presence in and of itself. Notice as you allow the lower jaw to slacken away from the top teeth. This allows us to feel into the lower back. This allows us to tune into our needs there. And bending up each leg in turn to settle the lower back here onto the ground, rolling onto whichever side feels most restful, kind. Namaste.